Your elevator pitch. That's right. Developing it. Why should people care? What is it that's going to further the conversation when you tell them what it is that you do and why it is that you do what you do? Not only
We'll skip the rest of that conversation. Let's take that out. But I wanted to see if we could do that. We did do that, didn't we? Do that. What the heck did we do? Two things. Number one, went to a presentation last night at Launchpad. Actually, it was that topic, which was kind of cool. It was given by a couple of people, Arthur Germain being one of those on the panel. And it was done, actually, it was done phenomenal. I really enjoyed it quite a bit because you get a chance, and this is always the case. You get a chance to get other people's opinions about what it is that you're saying and to get an idea as to whether or not people understand what you're saying. And that's important. It's also important for people to understand the question that you're asking in order for you to get the response that you were looking for. And yesterday was a combination of all of those things. And everything that we do really is a combination of all of those things. The other thing I wanted to do right here this morning was to go figure out whether or not I could actually do that, what the transition looked like. So that worked out okay. We could work through some of the details, but that was a comment that I made because I, a long time ago, it wasn't that long ago, number of months ago, I gave a presentation at the Miller Business Center on exactly the same topic. That business pitch, that 30-second intro, they were focused more on the 5-minute intro. It was a different audience, a different focus on that one. It's like, it wasn't a matter of, hi, I meet you at a networking event. That's the 30-second thing. It was a matter of, I'm now looking for different partners or different situations, or presenting your company to have your product sold at various institutions, various retailers. So it's a longer, it's not 30 seconds. You're sitting down for a meeting. You know why you're there. You know who your audience is. And now you need to deliver about your company in a way that is succinct, in a way that is focused, and in a way that is easily understandable by somebody who may not understand the technical side of your business, but really care about, especially if you're pitching a product to somebody, about what's in it for them. What is their benefit? What is the value to them about your product? So it was different. Same topic, totally different focus. It's why very important to do those things. Absolutely incredibly important. And I've mentioned that in the past with so many things. How do you improve your skills if you want to speak in front of a large group? Speak in front of a small group to get started. Speak in front of any group. Listen to somebody else speaking in front of a small group, large group. Understand what it is that they are doing that you like or don't like. See how you think they were effective or not effective. Take all of this stuff in. Do everything. Maybe that, and therein lies the topic of today. You know, when is too much too much? Sometimes it just is too much to do absolutely everything that there is. But getting focused and staying with a clear purpose, a mission statement, which is even spoken about last night, that tagline, the all important tagline, that little common sentence that really explains out where you're going with that business, that product, that service, who you're really trying to to work with as you go forward. Look on the strategies of success side of things, the business side of it, and the radio show, podcast here. It's like looking to work with people who want to use their voice to build their brand, build their business. That's that. How do we do it? That's the product. How do we do it? How do we do it? Whether it's creating your own podcast, going on somebody else's, all the rest of that kind of stuff. But map that up for a little plan. But that's it. But it's those people. It's that those that want to use their voice. That's it. That's the tagline. Point is, this tagline should be really clear as to what it is. Even here with Tomato Talk, right? Tomato Talk. It's like you got, you go Google Tomato Talk and you're gonna find out how to garden. One day we'll move up the ranks on that one and have it come up a little bit. But you Google, I think if you Google Tomato Talk Brian or Tomato Talk, maybe Long Island or something like that. It'll come up. So we're working on that, putting in all of those, hashtags on many of the videos that he did in the past, and the rest of that stuff. I have enough of it. That all that stuff should definitely help him. Now, going to move forward a little bit more and do things. But there's the question again. When is too much too much? How do you balance everything? Should you balance everything? When should you drop things? When should you say, you know what? That's it. I've had enough. Time to clean slate and boom, start all over. Many times, something to be done on a frequent basis, that cleaning up things, and you do it. You probably do it much more frequently than you might even think you do it. The cleaning up portion of starting over, that's a bigger decision. Starting over, but making tweaks along the way, that's something we do frequently too. Again, whether we realize it or don't realize it. So, how do you clean up on a daily basis? Like every time you go through your emails, Facebook messages, Twitter comments, all the rest of that stuff, you're going through it, you're cleaning it up. Does it get to be too much every once in a while? Yeah, it certainly does. It certainly does. Because if you get, I'm sure many of you are very capable of receiving 100 to 200 emails a day from everybody, right? Oh, you get all of this kind of stuff. Hopefully, you're filtering in your own email system, knocks out some of the junk email, and there's quite a few things like that. So that categorize it. Maybe you sort it. So anything coming from sources you don't know, just drop it. Let that go. Maybe you sort it by subject line. Oh, however you do it, to filter through those things. Do it every day. You don't do it every day, and then all of a sudden it becomes a massive project. Then it's just not happening. You can't let it go because then you miss something. Maybe you should unsubscribe to a whole bunch of different things, right? Everything sounded like a good idea when you were building up that email list, when you were on Facebook accepting friends from all over the world, all different categories. Yeah, I saw your name come up. Thought we should connect. Facebook suggested us as friends. LinkedIn, all the rest of that stuff. Second, third, third is fine. You pay for LinkedIn. You can connect with anybody, any place. You just keep on doing that. You got thousands of people on there. Thousands of people on Facebook, thousands of people on LinkedIn. For what purpose? That's the question. Because now, if you could really truly answer that question, for what purpose? Now you'll know when too much is too much. If you're going out to all kinds of different events and you're doing all kinds of things and all kinds of different projects, is it too much? I know in the beginning when I started with the networking and things like that, it wasn't too much. In hindsight, it was a lot, but I just went every place, did everything the whole way through, handed out business cards all over. Did I need to do that? I did. In hindsight, I realized why I needed to do that. In the moment, not a clue in the world. Not a clue in the world. So that's why I highly suggest, if you're going to go out networking for the first time and you really want to do it more effectively, you've got to have a purpose of doing it. Got to have a purpose. Your purpose could be a couple of different things, right? Mine was to hand out my business card. Was I effective? Oh, I absolutely was. I handed out a lot of business cards. People knew my name. I don't know if they knew my name. They knew my business card. I don't know if they kept my business card, but they knew my business card. I mean, I came back at the end of a week. I was like, hey, yeah, this is great. Handed out 100, 200, 300 business cards this week. Smoking hot. Call up the printers. I need another set of 500. Let's get 1,000. Maybe we should get 2,000 cards. I'm not changing anything. It's just going to remain the same. That became wrong. But I was just going for the sake of going. Too much. Too much. If I knew, here's my book. If I knew then what I knew now. That was a book I actually contributed to, also. I got my new, there it is. New cabinet, new back. If I knew then what I knew now. You might recognize that pose because that's what I got up there. I carried this book up to the top of Mount Washington. Why did I do that? Got to stay healthy, right? That factors into that one. But then networking, what did I do? I accomplished handing out business cards. Did I accomplish getting the phone to ring? Absolutely not. Nobody called me. Nobody called me. But I felt good about myself because I went out and I did all of these things. So basically, I accomplished kind of nothing except that I learned. I learned. So the too much in this category was the fact that I spent too much time networking without a purpose. If I knew that I was going out there to learn, then I would have been much more effective in the learning side of it. I still might not have had anybody call me, and that's fine. Let's take this in proper context over here. You do want people to call you. But if I went out networking in the beginning and I was out 3 or 4 nights a week and whatever, always found something to do, even on the weekend, there was always something, started a group called Net Walking for Success at one point in time. Trying to combine a few different things in there, that walking, exercise, again, climbing up Mount Washington, and the rest of that kind of stuff, and then meeting business people. But if I knew when I was going out originally to all these networking events, the weekday stuff, but I knew why I was going out. I knew I was going out to meet people and see what their stories were and to understand what networking was all about. I paid a lot more attention to what I was doing and understanding the benefits or disadvantages, but the benefits of certain groups over other groups. I would have been a lot more focused there. 2, if I knew why I was going out there networking in the beginning, I would have focused very much on my 30-second elevator pitch. And I would have understood the fact that it's almost more important what somebody else says to you than what you say, because then you can make the decision as to how to categorize that person. Is it someone you can do business with? Is it someone going to help you do business? Or is it just somebody you can refer out to someone? Now, in the beginning stages with networking, you referring something out to somebody else, not a priority, probably not even something you can do because you don't really know everybody. So that really goes by the wayside. But it still is something that you could learn if you went into this thing with a clear-cut purpose. So look, if I knew I was going out in the beginning to network, right, and I've set a time frame for myself, over the next 3 months, I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet people and see where these people are going to fit in with my business building strategy, and also to focus on my elevator pitch to see what works and what doesn't work, or in other words, put it nicer, what resonates and what doesn't resonate. Then I would have been much more focused. Then you want to know something? The too much thing, maybe 3 months is actually too much time to give that. And it could have been done in a shorter period of time. Maybe you have to do it in a shorter period of time, because if you're relying on those networking connections in order to really build your business, because you need to build your business, 3 months is it could be a long time. So maybe you do it in 1 month, and then now all of a sudden you're not going out 3 nights a week. You're going out 5 nights a week. You're finding something to do on the weekend. You're going to different events. Now you're doing a lot, but that's not too much, because now your focus is not the short term. It's the short term being out of the house all the time. It's the fact that I'm going to do this thing short term and do everything I possibly can in order to learn as quickly as I can. This way I could become much more focused, realistic, effective over the longer term. There was one gentleman that I ran across was building his business, and his comment to me was, look, here's what I'm going to do. For the next 3 years, that's all I'm going to do. Really focus on the business, get out in front of as many potential clients. It wasn't networking. These were potential clients as much as he possibly can. And then from there, he'll have a good base of people and then move on to the next phase of the business is cultivating those relationships and looking for referrals from those relationships, not from the outside. Worked out well for him. He was very focused. Was it too much? Look, I'm sure there was a lot of things that had to be sacrificed for those 3 years, those initial 3 years. But then he was able to enjoy a much freer, we'll say, lifestyle, more of sales. I don't know if this is ever true, 9 to 5, but more of a 9 to 5 kind of lifestyle with business. Yeah, absolutely. So when is too much? Too much depends upon your overall strategy. It's really important to do that with the overall strategy. Sometimes where it becomes a challenge here, hey, there we go. Thanks, Car. And there's the woman who, when I go out, right, I was gone for like so long with the networks. Like, how'd you do? I met so many people. Well, did anybody care to meet me? Nobody ever asked that question. The answer was, I don't think so. I was just a guy out there, and doing something at the initial stages. It was a much different focus than what I'm doing on right now. And you want to know something? It is actually because of that I actually do this, that I'm much more focused on the elevator pitch because basically when I did it, I was terrible. Hindsight. I really could have used a coach. I mean, just somebody to give me guidance on the whole thing. What I was told by somebody was just join a group and rely on that group. That was wrong. It was really wrong. The other side of it too, I think what I was doing was not my desire to do. And that showed through. Maybe that's why people didn't call me. I was just telling them my past experiences. I was not telling them anything about what I could do for them. I was just giving them my past experiences. What's in it for them? Not there. So I think it's not good for me. If you have that guidance up front, it would have made the thing much shorter. It would have made it much more effective. And I would have learned a lot more. And maybe I would have learned a lot quicker too, is that what I was doing was not what I should be doing. It's what I could do, but it was not what I should do. Beginning to get a little bit more of the backstory on all of this stuff. Not what I should do. Now, that's why. Too many things. And you know what? It was good that I learned that. It was just a long process of doing that. Now you become more, to today. Let's take it more to you. Where is it? How many things do you do with the, hey, let's see what happens? That's not good. And look, I had a conversation with somebody earlier today too, is the fact that I met him someplace. I don't recall. He says he remembers me. I don't know. I really I couldn't remember. Couldn't recall. But there are many people that we run across that we just didn't expect to see, or they do something that really was not top of the list for you, at the time. So it's a tough balance about doing things, too much, so because you do meet people in different situations that have a common interest in something that maybe you won't need or won't be a part of until a little bit later on, until you actually and are in your process of growing. And that's where I have a problem with it's too much. And Karen will attest to that one too. See, I get this bright, shiny object thing. It'll all work out. It's for a good cause. There's a reason for this. I don't know what that reason is right now, but I know there's a reason. And you wind up doing so many things. So many things. But even on those aspects of it, I think if you stay a bit more focused up top, even though you go into different things, it's there. My world, right? What do I personally, I want to stay in shape, right? And so the exercise is a big part of it. So if I could do something that combines exercise and something else, that's a good thing. So I want to learn how to take better photos. So I walk and I bring the camera. Good use of time? Yeah. Also gives me some time to kind of think, and that kind of thing, kind of revisit those too much things as that goes along. A little combination there. This announcing that I've been doing, am I doing it for purely, for the events, or am I getting better at being an announcer? Am I getting better with the microphone? Am I getting more comfortable with the use of a microphone in all kinds of different situations? The answer to that is yes, I am getting better. I've did a radio show this morning, so I actually had somebody that I never expected to get a compliment from, got a compliment from about my announcing. So that was really nice. Definitely a highlight of the day on that one. And what was interesting is the fact that I'm announcing something I really didn't know anything about. So it's enabling my ability to learn a little bit more about different things. And maybe that opens up doors. So that's it. So I really want to focus on the microphone use and, radio show, TV show, whatever you want to call it, podcast, on a going forward basis. So that helps me in that respect. So there is a focus there. Sometimes I take a little liberty with it, and like anything with a microphone. Oh yeah, we have an event in Milwaukee, not paid. You get the microphone. Yeah, no, there is some sort of a limit that goes on with that one. But other places, absolute. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. We have a walk coming up in October, so I'm on the microphone with that and have been for years. Been emceeing that thing. This year there'll be a script. A script. I will be given a script to follow. No more ad-libbing. No more improv. Follow the script. That's different. It's different. I did follow the script one time with a teleprompter. It was different. So what? Should I not do it? Of course I should do it. One, I would do whatever for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Just as an aside, whatever that might be. But I know I'm going to learn something by doing that. Just like I would learn something by reading your bio when you come on as a guest. It helps me hone a different skill that's still within here. So I don't see that as too much, but I'm looking at it going into it with a learning experience. Do you do the same thing? Are you going into these things, whatever it might be, hobby included, as a learning experience, as some place to grow, not just going for the sake of going? I don't care what it is, it could be anything, but go with some sort of a purpose. And if you can't come up with a decent reason for that purpose, then why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? There's some things you might go to just for the fun of it. Hey, you know what? I really enjoy that. No business cards, no nothing. That's it. Going with a friend, going with one of the kids, going with your spouse, and just having a good time. Hey, you know what? That's important too. But that's where you're going for a purpose. I go to like the various car shows. What are we doing? I'm bringing the camera with me to go practice my photo taking. An event I went to last night. I went there to learn, but I also brought the camera along. Learn something. I learned something when there's a panel discussion going on and it's a quiet room and you take a photo, it clicks and it's very loud. Maybe we need to figure out how to make that camera no sound when you press that button. And there's probably some feature in there. I don't know. Never thought about that in some of the outdoor activities. Like, who cares? Nobody hears it. That one, definite. So could it be silent? Yeah. Learn something. And also I got a new lens. So, learn something, as that went along. Purpose. So when is too much is when you don't have a purpose. When you don't have a reason for doing it, there's no purpose to do it. There's no reason to do it. Then it becomes too much. So get focused. Understand, justify things. Will you over justify something? Well, basically, if you if you're friends with me, you probably do over-justify something. It's like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I do have one of my friends, dear friend, dear friend. And you know what? He's on the other side of the coin. His thing is you need to be really clear. If it can't be really clear as to why you're doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. And there is still, without a doubt, something to be said for that one. He's very focused, extremely focused, great guy, all the rest of that kind of stuff. I follow him wherever. And I'm trying to shift more that way instead of the opposite side where like, oh yeah, justify everything. Where in the spectrum do you find yourself on that? Are you really, really finite where you're just like one dimensional? Or you got all these things that you could justify doing? Find that balance with regards to your own situation, with regards to how you are set up with your business. If it's a new business way, you know what? Then you are maybe all over the place, but learn from those things and bring it down. Bring it down, because then you're going to find that balance of what's good for you, family, your own mental health too. And you get a chance to pay attention to those other things that are truly important besides yourself, besides your family, those customers that really are going to be the catalyst for you. Or those folks that you have, your big supporters that may not be giving you any money, but they are your true supporters, that they will be out there looking out for your best interest. They will be out there identifying opportunities that are really good for you. And the only way they're going to know that is if you really know exactly what opportunities are good for you, exactly what you are looking for. So if you are doing everything and looking at everything and justifying everything, it's tough for them to refer you because they don't know really what's important to you. Closer you get down over here, the better it is. That friend of mine that I spoke about, I know exactly who he's looking to speak to from the business side of life. I know exactly who he's looking to speak to. Very finite. Maybe we all get to that point where we're really finite in what we're doing and how we're growing our business. That could be the greatest key to success. But I do believe, and I truly do believe, that you have to have the confidence to stand up and talk, because that's really what opens doors. Oh, and there's so many examples of that. I had a conversation today with the host of the show where I was a guest on, about that. And we can go back to any scenario where if you don't have the confidence to do something, the rest of this stuff I talk about is meaningless. I don't want to go networking. I'm not comfortable. Well, that's it. They take care of that whole thing. I'm not picking up the phone to go call. I'm not comfortable. Going on social media, oh my gosh, I say something wrong and get chewed apart. I don't want to do that. I don't do Facebook, that person would say, I don't do Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the rest of this other kind of stuff. You got to have the confidence to do these things and to be who you are, first and foremost. Don't be too many things. Bring it down. Clearer you are, the better you are going to be, more effective you are going to be. Easier it is to get recommendations, referrals, and all the rest of that stuff. Happier you'll be too. I'm sure that works up into the mental health category as well. That is true. All right, my friends, as soon as you get yourself focused, on your way to get focused, enjoy that journey. And remember to speak well, speak often, and live inspired. Have a great weekend. I'm so looking forward to this one myself. All right, here we go. Let's fade out with the rest of this elevator speech thing.
That we're going to figure out different places for you to put that elevator pitch, whether it be on camera, on written word, social media, or allow others to be inspired to contact you.